The fall of the Roman Empire wasn't just an event. It was a seismic shift in human history, marking the end of an era and the beginning of another. But why does this distant collapse still matter today? What lessons can we draw from its rise and eventual downfall? The Western Roman Empire officially fell in 476 AD, when Romulus Augustulus, the last emperor, was deposed by a Germanic chieftain named Odoacer. But the seeds of Rome's downfall were sown long before that fateful day. Historians have identified several interconnected factors that contributed to its collapse. First, there was military overextension. At its height, the Roman Empire spanned millions of square miles, requiring vast resources to defend its borders. Over time, maintaining this sprawling territory became unsustainable. Barbarian tribes like the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns exploited weaknesses along the frontiers, pushing deeper into Roman lands. Second, internal divisions weakened the empire from within. Political corruption ran rampant, with emperors often chosen not for their merit, but through bribery or force. Power struggles led to frequent coups and civil wars, leaving the empire fractured and leaderless during critical moments. Third, economic mismanagement played a pivotal role. Heavy taxation burdened ordinary citizens, while inflation eroded the value of Roman currency. As trade networks collapsed and agricultural productivity declined, cities emptied and wealth concentrated in the hands of a small elite. And finally, external pressures proved insurmountable. Climate change, plagues, and mass migrations added further strain. By the 5th century, the empire was too fragile to withstand the combined weight of these challenges. When Rome fell, Europe entered what is often called the Dark Ages. Cities shrank, literacy rates plummeted, and centralized authority gave way to fragmented kingdoms ruled by local warlords. For centuries, the continent struggled to rebuild itself after the loss of such a dominant power. Yet, out of this chaos emerged new ideas, institutions, and cultures. The Catholic Church stepped into the void left by Roman governance, preserving knowledge and providing stability. Monasteries became centers of learning, safeguarding classical texts that would later inspire the Renaissance. Even language bears the mark of Rome. Latin evolved into the Romance languages, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian, that millions speak today. Roman law, architecture, and engineering principles influenced countless societies that followed. From aqueducts to republican ideals, Rome's legacy endured long after its fall. So why should we care about the fall of an empire that ended more than a millennium ago? Because many of the challenges Rome faced mirror those confronting us today. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it often rhymes, and the parallels are striking. Consider income inequality. In Rome, wealth became concentrated in the hands of a tiny elite, leaving the majority impoverished and disillusioned. Fast forward to today, and we see similar trends in many parts of the world. When large segments of society feel excluded from prosperity, trust in institutions erodes, creating fertile ground for unrest. Political polarization also plagued Rome. Senators prioritized personal gain over the common good, leading to gridlock and ineffective leadership. Sound familiar? Modern democracies face comparable challenges, with partisan divides threatening national unity and decision-making. Economic fragility is another lesson. Rome relied heavily on imports, particularly grain from Egypt, to sustain its population. When trade routes were disrupted, famine followed. Today, globalization has made nations interdependent, but also vulnerable. Disruptions in energy supplies, food production, or technological components can send shockwaves through entire economies. Environmental factors cannot be ignored either. Some historians argue that climate fluctuations exacerbated Rome's troubles, contributing to crop failures and migration crises. Similarly, climate change poses existential threats to our own civilization, demanding immediate action if we hope to avoid catastrophe. The fall of the Roman Empire reminds us that no society is immune to decline. Great powers can falter when they fail to adapt to changing circumstances, neglect their people, or lose sight of what binds them together. Yet, it also teaches resilience. Out of Rome's ashes rose new beginnings, proof that even in darkness, humanity finds ways to rebuild and renew.